Why did you come to Ohio State, especially when you know you've already had a good running back here with Trey?
Well, my answer would be, why not Ohio State? You know, a place with great culture, the best coaches, the best players, the best fan base that's very passionate about their team and about the whole city as all. So that was my reasoning.
So how familiar were you with Ohio State before? Like, you went into the transfer portal and it seemed like it happened sort of out of the blue to people on the outside looking in, and then all of a sudden, 4 days later, you're announcing you're committed to Ohio State. I mean, can you walk people through that process and what was it about Ohio State initially that you were like, hey, I need to take a look only at Ohio State?
Well, I think growing up, you know, Ohio State isn't just a school you hear about at that certain moment, you know, with all the accolades they've had, all the great players that have come through here. Some of my favorite running backs have played here. So, you know, it's always a school you've looked at growing up. And I think just with me being in the portal, it was a great situation to be in.
Quinshon, was there something to the timing of your announcement right after the national title?
I think just at that moment, you know, it was just, I was like, okay, let's make it happen at this point, especially when the team up north won. I was like, this is where I want to be.
What was that like right after that, just hearing everything come after that?
You know, I really wasn't paying attention to the noise. I was just focused on, you know, getting here as soon as possible and getting to work.
I mean, I think for Ohio State fans, watching Michigan win the national championship ruined their night for a lot of them.
Right.
And then when you tweeted that, like literally, I think it was 2 minutes after the game ended. I mean, was that the plan, or was it just like, just do it?
You know, it wasn't really planned. It was like, okay, yeah, I'm committed, and this is where I want to be right at that moment. So I put it out.
So you said a lot of your favorite running backs have played here.
Yeah, I would say Ezekiel Elliott. I think what's the guy's name? It was J.K. Dobbins. He's really one of my favorite running backs that have come through here, and Zeke, and also Trey Sermon. I like him too.
Quinshon, you took so many carries over the last 2 years. I think we've speculated, because we've talked with Travion in the past about how he wanted to have somebody who could be a counterpart for him and split the load. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Is that part of what you were hoping to do when you came here? Is like have somebody else that you didn't have to take 350 carries?
No, I think just really just the situation here, you know, just doing what I can to come and contribute to the team as all, and just do what I can to win a national championship, just playing my part.
Does he want you to take some of his carries? Do you want him to take some of yours? Or is that?
I don't think like we've had that conversation, just because we're both very competitive at what we do, you know. I don't think anyone wants that, but we're very fortunate of each other to be both playing here.
You could have been in a situation, right, where I want to be somewhere where I'm clearly the number one back, right, where I am the guy that it's just obvious, and you chose to put yourself in a situation where there's two great backs here. Like, just what is the thought process that left you open to that idea? Because maybe some guys would say, hey man, I don't want to be somewhere with another great back. You got fed a lot at where you were.
Right. I think, you know, just the idea of coming to a team where, you know, you're playing for something that's bigger than yourself. A lot of great players have come here, as you've seen through the portal this year. So I think when you come together for a cause that's bigger than yourself, you know, you have great players around you and you want to win, and that's what it's all about.
What kind of conversations did you have with Travion, and what's your first impression?
Yeah, me and Travion have always been close. You know, we've always been close on social media before I even came here. So we've always been in contact, you know, just supporting each other throughout our collegiate careers. And when I came here and decided to come here, he's very excited. So
how well aware of you were how much did you know about his process and kind of his decision to stay when you committed here? Like, did you kind of know where he was leaning when you decided to come to Ohio State?
I think with the timing of my commitment and how fast my recruitment was, I think I wasn't more so focused on what was going on around me. I was just like, okay, what do I want to do? Where do I want to decide to go? And that was just my process for me.
What have you learned about Columbus? What have you learned about the Big Ten? How have you kind of
Man,
yourself here?
It's very passionate. The fans here are very passionate. Everywhere you go, they have Ohio State on. They talk about the football team all day. They know everything. So I think the community here is very welcoming, very passionate fans, and everyone here is involved for sure.
Quinshon, what went into the decision to leave Ole Miss, right? Like, I understand the decision to come here, but did something maybe like not go right at Ole Miss, or did you feel like it was ready to maybe like go somewhere else?
You know, I've done some great things at Ole Miss. You know, I've learned a lot, but But I think just for me in my third year, you know, you want to be somewhere like a place like Ohio State, like I said, with great culture, great teammates, you know, great coaches, the best players, and the best fan base. So you want to win it.
Does that have to do with the NFL draft at all, right? Going somewhere where you feel like is only going to elevate your draft stock?
I mean, just as far as just being a player, you want to be around coaches that put you in a position to, you know, elevate yourself as a player and show more to your game. So I think Coach Day and Coach O'Brien would do that for sure.
You mentioned the elevation there. What was the role that they kind of pitched to you when you were in the portal?
Just being a all-around back, you know, like just doing it all really, you know, not just being running the ball inside between the tackles or outside, you know, just getting me involved in the passing game and just showcasing everything that I can do as a player.
What have you seen from Coach O'Brien so far?
You know, I've seen Coach O'Brien, you know, what he coached. I played against Alabama in 2022. So I played against him and how he used Jahmyr Gibbs, and I seen a lot of those things, and also his career when he was with the Patriots as well. So I've seen how he's coaching. It's really cool.
Has he talked about like his role, the role that he sees you in for this offense at all, or?
Yeah, he's came and he spoke to the team about, you know, him as a coach, who he is and how he plans to involve everyone and what his role is. So it's really good.
How would you describe your running style?
I think I run tough. I'm very elusive, fast. You know, I have vision, patience. I can make people miss. I can run you over. I can catch. You know, it's very different. So.
How much have you studied Travion, and how are your styles similar or different?
I think just with Travion, we're kind of I don't know how to explain it. I would say, you know, he's good at what he does, and I'm good at what I do too. So
You're both home run threats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely.
What you counted afforded to you don't?
I don't know.
What makes you so hard to tackle?
I think just my will. You know, my will to want to win, the determination to get in the end zone and just help my team win.
When you came out of high school, could you have envisioned a little over 2 years down the line, you're sitting here at Ohio State as a running back for the Buckeyes?
You know, no, actually, you know, I did not. You know, as you go through your journey through high school and through college, you don't know where you'll end up at. So I'm just blessed, very thankful for everyone that has helped me to get through this, you know, this process to be here, and I'm excited.
Is this the positive side of the transfer portal that you go somewhere, you have success there, but you're able to then take a kind of another step before you go to what's next?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, you know, there's many things that have been thrown out there as far as when players go into the portal and things that aren't true, but, you know, it's actually more than that, and players just want to elevate their game and, you know, showcase who they are.
I imagine that people at Ole Miss, coaches in the program, players, and obviously fans, were quite disappointed.
Yeah.
What kind of reaction did you get when you?
Man, it was crazy. You know, a lot of different things that were, a lot of different emotions. But it's business. It's a business. So you understand it. You know, people won't always be happy for the decisions you make when it's best for yourself. But like I say, man, I'm just excited to be here and do what I can to win it all.
How much was NIL a factor?
You know, definitely not a factor for me. I think just me as a player, I just play football at the end of the day. I go out there and contribute to what I can do for my team, and that's what I focus on.
How much did you know about Big Ten football coming into this, and how quick of a study have you had to pick up?
You know, I did not know that it was this big of a factor. You know, you always see it on TV when they play games on Saturdays, and it's big, it's a lot of fans, and like I say, everybody's passionate, but when you're here in it, it's a whole nother ball game, so really excited.
Did you have to just get past that at all and decide to come to a Big Ten school, or, you know, in the northern part of the country? Like, was that an adjustment that you had to, like, get used to?
No, not really. I would say it was probably just only a little cold, but but other than that, though, it was an awesome process. I think that wasn't a factor for me.
What excites you about Will Howard, and what kind of quarterback do you think he is?
I think Will Howard is a great quarterback. You know, he's a great player. I see he has vision. He can use his legs. He can also throw as well. He's very smart, and just looking at his film and what he's done at Kansas State has been awesome.
For you as a running back, what does that do for you when you have a quarterback who is a dual threat like he is?
It's very good to be in that position, because not only will he open it up for you also, but he also gives the receivers a chance to, you know, be able to be used in the pass game as well.
You come from a place that has a pretty big rivalry there, obviously with the Egg Bowl.
Right.
Coming to a place that does a little something about big rivalries. How
Oh, yeah.
much did you know about the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry? How much have you heard about it since you got here?
Oh, it was big time. I've always heard a lot about it, but to be here and you see how big it is, they got the clock in there with the countdown. It's serious. So I'm excited to beat the team up north, and that's what we're working for.
You've played against Caleb Downs.
Right.
What are your impressions of him?
Yeah, definitely a great player. Like I said, everyone who's come here, this portal class, great players from all around their different teams. And Caleb personally, he's done some great things at Alabama, and we're excited to have him.
When you played them, how much of a focal point was he, even as a freshman?
Right. I think when we played him, we had a different ball game plan. Like we were trying to throw the ball, and he's very successful there at stopping it. So that was pretty good.
Who are some of your favorite running backs that you like to watch, or anybody you particularly admire?
I like Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey. I would say also I've liked Jahmyr Gibbs at Detroit as well. So just those three guys right there have been doing some great things in the pro level.
Those are guys that do a lot. You've already talked about this a little bit, but that all-around game, how important is that as part of your game to be able to do a little bit of everything?
I think it's definitely important, especially where the game is going with running backs in today's game. I think it's overall you have to showcase what you can do, not just as a running back in the backfield, but also in the slot or wherever the coaches put you to be able to execute. So
what about pass protection? How big is that?
That's definitely important as well too. For me personally, that's something that that's important for me personally, but I think it's important as a running back as well.
You mentioned some misconceptions that maybe people have about the transfer portal from the outside looking in. What do you think some of those things are?
Like I say, about NIL or different things that don't pertain to everybody's situation. It doesn't pertain to every single player, but a lot of people get that speculation as far as when people want to make certain decisions to get in the portal, but it's always not about that.
How hard was it for you? I mean, you're from Mississippi. You played Ole Miss. When you make that decision, you start to see some of the things that people are saying, and maybe some of it coming from the locker room that you were playing in. How difficult is that as a young man making this decision for yourself to feel maybe that betrayal?
Yeah, just through this whole process, this is my first time ever going through this, and like I say, many things were said, from just the rumors and all those things, but I think just throughout this process, I've learned a lot. I'm very thankful for the support I've had from my family, the coaches throughout this process, and just to end up here at Ohio State, it's been awesome.
Other than the weather, what's been the biggest adjustment to getting up here? Is it just walking into a room and seeing this many people covering the football team, or?
I wouldn't say that. I think it's just more so, just the whole thing. Like I would say, just the weather, really. The culture. That's what's important.
Have you found a northern food that is your go-to yet?
I haven't. I recently just got here, so I haven't found too much different places yet because I've been trying to move in and get acclimated. But I'll for sure find some couple spots.
What are your impressions of Will? I mean, I know that stands you're going to have a backfield with potentially a transfer running back, transfer quarterback. How much have you got to talk to him? I mean, through this not recruiting process, but transfer process.
Yeah, immediately when I got here, me and Will, we've always been in contact. Just checking on each other, hanging out, no matter what it is, just having that personal connection with each other off the field and having that relationship. So he's a great guy.
Did you have any communication with Trey when you were thinking about coming here? Did you have any communication with Trey about what he was going to do, or did that factor in at all to what you were doing?
Like I said, I think with the time that I was in the portal, it was such a short amount of time in the process. So I think, just trying to decide on where I wanted to go, I wasn't really focused on contacting anyone or anything like that. So.
Had you been to Ohio ever before?
No, I've never been to Ohio.
Did you know where it was?
Yeah.
On a map, you said
I knew where it was, but I've never been. So.
Okay. Quinshon, Caleb referred to the transfer portal as you said, recruiting on steroids. His was real fast. And
Yeah.
Yours is pretty quick too. Just what's that process like from person in from your point of view? We're on the outside. Just what's that like when everything's moving so quickly?
Yeah, I agree. I think, when everything's moving so fast, you have to stay poised as a player and focus on the things that matter that'll put you in the best position. And I think that's what it's really about for me in my process.
You always hear about tread on the tire for running back.
Mm-hmm.
Was that at all a factor in you deciding to go to a place where maybe you didn't have to carry as much.
Yeah, that definitely plays a factor, especially in today's game with the lifespan of running backs in the NFL. So I think that, with like I say, the situation here, just me being able to come here and contribute to this team and do what I can to win it all.
The flip side, the flip side is that there might be games where you only get 10 carries or something like that.
Right.
How do you think you would deal with it?
Like I say, any way that I can contribute to this team and do what I can to show and execute, that's what matters.
You mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs a couple times, the way that Detroit uses him. They're splitting carries up there too with David Montgomery. Do you like that, and do you think that that's part of where you said running backs are maybe going in the NFL nowadays?
Yeah, and not just that team as well. It's many other teams that do the same thing, and I think it's just really special that what they've done together, just seeing how they played together and how far they've come this season. So it was really special to see.
And not just that, but how much, he carried it 80 times last year. Having a quarterback that can run, and then 2 running backs. How much does that excite you to have a backfield with that option on top of it?
It's very exciting just to know we have so many weapons and so many different ways to win the game. So it's very exciting, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
How early do you have to start thinking about tread on the tires and things like that as a running back? Is it when you get to college? Like how do you start to rationalize that decision, and when do you have to start that decision?
I don't think it's something that you more so just specifically think of, but I think it's something that's important in today's game that has to be valued as well. So,
did you feel like you were overused at Ole Miss? How would you describe it?
I wouldn't really say overused. I don't think that's the word. I think just when you're playing, you don't focus on those different type of things, but like I say, you don't really focus on it.
There was much made though about you supposedly having a meeting with Coach Kiffin or something about the direction of the offense. How much of that was true? I'm talking about after the season. Was any of that true, or just what was that all about?
No, just rumors.
Yeah.
But like I say, man, like a lot of people, they won't be happy when you make certain decisions for yourself. But just excited to be here.
Did you enter it thinking Ohio State? I just walked up here a second ago, but you probably went all over this. But when did Ohio State get on your radar as a possible landing spot? Just in a nutshell, maybe.
Immediately when I got in the portal,
Why?
I think, like I say, this is the place that you want to go to. A place where everyone's passionate and everyone wants to win here. And it's a great culture, and everyone is focused and dialed in, and to do something that's bigger than themselves. Why wouldn't you want to go to a place like that?
A lot of people are seeing you and Trevion in the same backfield, and even out in Dallin in there. This might be the best running back threesome in the country.
Yes, sir.
Twosome for sure.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
feel that way also, and why?
Definitely. I feel like, with everyone in our room, they contribute in their own way, and everyone is a great player in our room. So I definitely agree.
Quinshon, when you talk about how fast things move in the portal, like you said, Ohio State reached out to you right when you got in. For you, was it, this is where I want to go, I'm shutting it down, or was it just how the portal worked?
Yeah, I think more so for me, it wasn't about like, this is where I want to go immediately, but I think that I wanted to make my process pretty short, especially when I got in at a later time because I had to be enrolled in school. So I think just more so just figuring out where I wanted to go and, making that decision as soon as possible.
What was it on your visit that sold you?
Just like I say, the meetings with Coach Day, everything that I was showcased. This is just the place that you want to be for sure.
Two quickies. The name Quinshon, where does that come from?
That came from my parents.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, is there a background to it? Of course, it came from
Figure that.
Hey.
But I really don't know. I've never asked my parents that question, actually.
Yeah. And then number 2, the hairstyle. What's that? What's the genesis of that?
I came up with this hairstyle in March of last year. So I just decided one day, I was like, okay, I want to dye half my hair blonde. So I just went with it. I got a lot of great compliments, so I kept it the same.
Blondes have more fun or have more runs?
I'll say more runs.
With you and Will and Caleb
Mhm.
and Seth, the expectations for the season are through the roof, especially after your rival wins the national championship.
Right.
They want to win at Ole Miss, obviously. I don't think national championship's the expectation there. It is here,
Yes, sir.
especially next year.
Right.
How do you accept that, embrace that? What do you think of that?
I embrace it well. That's what everyone here works hard for, and that is the end goal. Is not to get a certain amount of wins. That's the goal. That's what everyone's here for, to win the national championship. So I take it seriously. Everyone here is bought in. whatever it takes to get that, and that's what everyone's trying to do.
Quinshon, you said there's perceptions in the transfer portal.
1 minute, folks.
Somebody
Last
commits,
question.
they're getting this from the NIL, and that, as a player, like only you know what your NIL conversations are like. How do you kind of put all those rumors in the back burner and not kind of think about it?
You know, you don't focus on those things. Like I say, the most important thing is playing football, especially for me. You know, the NIL that wasn't like, you know, something that I was focusing on. You know, just going out there playing football and doing what I do.
I'm sure you could have gone to a lot of places and been the guy at running back. Was there appeal in coming in and sharing the load with Travion?
You know, I think just more so the situation here, like I said, just coming here, being not only with Trey, but just great players all around, and being able to execute and contribute to this team and do what I can to help us win. That was most important.
Was there any thought about, like, you know, taking some tread off your tires, like knowing that you have had so many carries the first 2 years?
I think just like I said, like in today's game, that's something that is important for running backs, you know, to be able to value and to think about as far as the shelf life and things like that. But, you know, just my situation coming here, that was most important.
Quinshon, thank you.
Thank you, guys.